Well, hello and welcome to Sports by Compion Pick'em Edition. My name, of course, is your host, Stephen Compion, and I got more picks for you guys. That's right, Pick'em Edition is back. We're going to talk NFL Week 7, figure out who's going to win these games, who might not. We've been doing decent guiding you fine folks as far as who you should be playing and who you shouldn't. And I think we're going to continue to do that for you gente. Now, listen. It's all going to start off with the Steelers traveling to the Bengals. We got Joe Flacco. We got Aaron Rodgers. We got old guys playing football. One team, however, is surrounded by a better talent, or at least they're all just clicking a lot better. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers for this one. They are on a hot streak right now. They're looking very good. Metcalf, Aaron connection is looking awesome. On the other hand, Joe Flacco didn't look terrible against the Packers, but they still need some team chemistry. That O line is still bad. The defense apparently can't stop the run now, and that's really gonna be a problem. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers on this one. Uh, the Bengals started out 2-0, now are on a 4-game skid. I don't believe it stops now. Very sad times indeed. Moving on, we got the Chargers traveling to Jacksonville. These Chargers have looked really good. Jacksonville has as well a bit of a stumble last week, but it was to a good team, so I don't think it's something that we got to be super worried about. Rams, on the other hand, did win their game against Baltimore, but it was a 17-3 sort of maybe an easier. I don't know how to describe it. Like you would hope that Matty Stafford and the boys could put up a lot more points than 17. Puka Nakua had a very quiet day. I think he may have gotten banged up. But either way, I'm definitely taking the Rams on this one. They just seem to be the better cohesive unit. They've been winning for longer. The Jacksonville Jaguars, after that one loss, can they rally again? Maybe they will. This game is in England, so that's always fun. And the Jaguars do have a boatload of fans out there at this point because they've been playing out there so much. But I don't know, man. Trevor Lawrence is struggling. 12 points ain't going to cut it. And they just kind of are stuck on that 12-point margin for a good while against the Chargers, wasn't it? No, it wasn't the Chargers. Damn, anyway, we'll figure it out sooner than later. But for now, we're going to talk about the Bears and how they won on a last-second field goal. Sent my pick to hell there on primetime games, which was, of course, very sad. Tragic even. I did shed a tear. Not really, actually. But Jake Moody puts it through the uprights. Shout out to Jake Moody. We do talk a lot of shit about him on this podcast, so he answered, and we can't. I guess gotta give the guy his flowers when he gets it done because he game-winning field goals are always tough. They beat the Commanders last week. Now they're hosting the Saints. Saints are frisky. The Saints like to play every game. They're gonna get in there. They're gonna fight you hard. But at the end of the day, I just don't think there's enough talent on either side of the ball, really. Like Chris Olave is a good receiver, but besides him, I don't think they have a lot of threats. Alvin Kamara still kind of doing his thing, not the threat he was in his younger years. Spencer Rattler is a decent quarterback. I don't actually think he's bad. I haven't seen a lot on him, to be honest, but I don't think he's bad either. I just think the Bears are a better team right now because of Ben Johnson. Obviously, Caleb Williams is doing enough, and I think they'll continue to mesh. That defense is solid. So, yeah, taking the Bears on that one. This game's so tough. At first, it's like, yeah, Cleveland versus, oh shit, Miami. And it's just like, dude, Miami's a rough team to pick for this week, this year. I have been picking against them. It mostly works out, but they should have beat the Chargers and couldn't quite close out that game. I guess if more people would have shown up to meetings, they probably would have figured out a way to push it over the top. But either way, this is 50-50 across the board. You can see from ESPN pick'ems. I'm going Dolphins here. I don't feel great about it. This is the first pick already. I don't feel good about. I could easily see Cleveland and Dylan Gabriel rallying and finding a way to win this at home. That defense is absolutely stellar. So Tua's going to have a tough day at the office. I got Darren Waller in fantasy. So for all my marbles, I'm hoping he can at least just find Darren Waller in the end zone a couple times. That would be sweet. But I don't know, man. It's going to be a tough game either way. I don't feel good about this Dolphins pick. I can hope. I just gotta trust that Tua is going to figure this out at some point, right? McDaniel's coaching for his life down there. Got to put this together. Kevin Stefanski is also coaching for his life, but it's more of a anyway. Maybe we'll see Shador Sanders in this game. Moving on, we got New England Patriots traveling to the Tennessee Titans, who will be under intermediate head coach. Not sure who that is. My bad, fans. Should have looked that up before the pod started, but it's just, not one of those weeks that we had time for that. But what we do know is that the Tennessee Titans are under new leadership. Cam Warden gets a new coach in there, and we've seen these intermediate coaches come in and win that first week. Whether it be that the team just is like, oh my God, dude, people are getting fired. We all need to wake the fuck up and play some good football. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, some of these coaches have come in and won in the past. So maybe maybe the Titans could pull a crazy upset here, but not likely because Drake May and the New England Patriots are looking really, really good this year. Drake May's at 23 years old, you just got to feel great about this kid as a Patriots fan. We have talked to friend of the show, Cooper O'Connell, and he is, in fact, in love with his boy May. It's quite the love trilogy going on there. And, you just love to see it because I feel like the Patriots haven't really won enough football. So it is good that they get to have yet another maybe great quarterback over there in New England. So that's just really great for the whole NFL to see. But obviously, I am kind of one of those guys who believes the NFL is a better place when the Patriots are good. It just felt weird having them at the bottom of the cellar. So it's cool to see them doing their thing, and I think they continue to get that rolling against the Titans. Off to 5-2, I predict. So the Chiefs were another team that had upsets on the pick'ems for primetime last week. Sorry about that, fans. I really thought the Lions had that. Instead, the Chiefs hand them a defeat. It's all starting to look a little bit formulaic. But either way, I'm not going to spend my time and energy and my soul yelling out into the universe about maybe unfair treatment by the referees of the Chiefs and other teams. No, it's just not worth it at this point, man. I cannot continue to do it. But what I will say is that 0 penalties is really suspicious. Anyway, all that said, Chiefs are hosting the Raiders, who are a hot mess right now. The Raiders are finding ways to beat like really bad teams, but other than that, they are not doing well. So definitely taking the Chiefs on this. They are negative 1,000. How about that, fans? So you'd have to bet $1 and get what? No, you have to bet $1,000 to get $1 back. I think. I don't actually know how that works. My bad. But what I will say is, Chiefs are probably going to win that game. So we got Vikings. We got the Eagles. This one's an interesting one, and you guys can see I picked the Vikings here. I'm just not believing in the Eagles right now. I never really. They kind of showed a lot of chinks in the armor early in the year, and now it's starting to actually catch up to them, and they're actually starting to lose games. Their defense is really good, but can Jalen Hurts and that offense get it going? It's there's plenty of talent there. They're absolutely good wide receivers, good running backs. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback. Maybe not top 5 like people are out there insinuating, but he's certainly a good quarterback. You got to open up the playbook maybe a little bit more. You got to figure something out. You got to shake it up. Will they find that spark against the Vikings? I think not, only because this Vikings defense is really, really good. Carson Wentz, rough week the previous week before the bye, but now he's had a little bit longer to get in there and make sure he's the guy. I just think they might even get McCarthy back for this game, which if they do, McCarthy's a baller. That'd be sweet. What I will say is I think the Vikings got this solely because the Eagles are kind of in crumble mode right now, and I'd love to see it crumble a little bit more, but they probably won't. This is probably a really risky pick here, but I am going Vikings just on vibes. So Panthers, I've picked wrong against these guys probably the last 5 times or so, but this time I think they got it. I don't think they're going to be the first team to lose to the Jets this year. The Jets are just absolutely in turmoil. I don't think it's Aaron Glenn's fault, but he might catch the axe very early because of it. The Panthers are looking decent under Dave Canales. They are quite a fighting little guy. Rico Dowdle is just absolutely going off. He's been spectacular the previous 2 weeks. He goes against a good Jets defense here, but I do think he might have probably not over 200 yards again, but I do think he might have himself another good day. Either way, Bryce Young is finding, like, when you can get the run game going and you're letting Bryce not have to be the main guy, it is working out well. That he is finding ways to keep that offense moving. They do need to continue to develop some receivers there. Like, it's still a little barren in the receiver department for the Carolina Panthers, but they do seem to be figuring out their offense finally, and that defense is good and has been good for a while. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be able to rally the boys to a victory, but I do think he'll have a decent day against this Panthers defense just because, he knows he needs to do something after the previous disappointment. I think like the first NFL quarterback to throw for in 10 years or 20 years to have negative 50 yards of offense. So that's not great. We'll see how the boy Fields bounces back from this one. So we got Denver Broncos against the frisky New York Giants, who just handed the Eagles a loss the previous week. Cam Scatterboo and the boys just running through people, headbutting. Dart looks awesome. His eyeliner's cool, but they are facing a monster defense in the Denver Broncos, who absolutely dismantled the Jets the previous week. As I mentioned, they could not get anything going in the passing game. Their Bo Nix still looking a little shaky. Would love to see Bo looking a little bit better to figure something. He just needs to get it going a little bit better. They haven't been blowing teams out maybe like they should with this amazing defense because man, I don't know how you move the ball against these guys right now. They're so good in the secondary. Patrick Surtain and the boys are just absolutely locking everything down. So Dart's going to have himself the biggest challenge of his young rookie career for sure. And they're maybe just going to have to rely on Scadaboo, and it's going to be tough sledding because I don't think the Denver Broncos give up a lot of rushing yards either. Absolutely taking Bo Nix and the boys. They should be able to pull out that 5-2 credit as well record. So we got the Colts. We got going to the Chargers. This is another tough one to pick from. I'm going on the excitement that the Colts have been showing and how they've been playing games and just finding ways to win. That offense is so fun to watch, and they're all doing their part. Chargers, on the other hand, man, they are struggling. So they've been on this skid of losing a couple games. They get a win against the Dolphins last week, but you would want to see them win that game a lot more commandingly than they did. Like they had to have that last minute comeback basically to pull this game off, to pull off that win. And I think I'm definitely going Colts here. They seem like it's a stronger team for sure. Yeah, not much else to say about that. Daniel Jones and the boys. Hopefully they throw it to Tyler Warren like a lot. That would be great. Commanders going to the Cowboys. So the Cowboys have found some fight. They're in all their games because of Dak Prescott, who's having himself a really good year. If they were having like slightly better record, there would be people talking about Dak Prescott for MVP. And George Pickens, him and George Pickens have been working great together, and I believe we're gonna see CeeDee Lamb back at some point. But for now, they face the Commanders, who tough loss against the Bears, as we mentioned earlier. Jaden Daniels, maybe still a little shaky coming into the sophomore year. People have a little more tape on you now, and you got to maybe make more throws than you had to before, as opposed to just using your legs. Who knows? I don't know all the details, but I will say Commanders are a very good team. Their defense is good. Their offense can move the ball when they absolutely need to. So I think they do handle business against the Cowboys, who have a very bad defense right now. I don't trust them. They got absolutely destroyed by Rico last week, and that wasn't the first guy to get on them this NFL season. So we got the Packers facing the Cardinals. Not a lot to say here. Obviously, a fairly lopsided game. Some people think the Packers may be one of the best teams in the NFL, at least top three. That's where a lot of power rankings have them right now. So I think they absolutely can handle business against the struggling Cardinals, who just haven't looked good at all this year. Kyler Murray's having a really rough year. I don't know if they end up in the lower percentage of the NFL, are they drafting a quarterback? Maybe, because I just don't know if Kyle Murray's the answer right now. Might be one of those things for him where he just needs to go change his environment, play for a different team, and he might still be successful as an NFL quarterback. But right now he's getting concussed by snaps. So I don't know if he has what it takes to lead them out of this slump. Packers, on the other hand, Jordan Love's doing just enough to win games. Their defense is good. Michael Parsons is still figuring it out a little bit, but I mean, he's figuring out a new playbook coming from a new team, and they're kind of. Yeah, I'm sure it's all going to be fine with him, but I am definitely taking them to win this game and go 4-1, which is always fun to say. Falcons, 49ers. So I'm going Falcons here, even though they are traveling all the way out to San Francisco. They did just absolutely punch the Bills, at least in that first half. They punched the Bills in the face. They show a lot of potential. I do believe Brian Robinson's the best. Bijan Robinson, I'm sorry, is the best running back in the NFL right now. The guy's just absolutely a stud. If they just continue to get the ball to him, he's going to be fine. On the flip side, the San Francisco 49ers just lost Fred Warner. That is rough to lose the heart and soul of your defense. We hope he gets back well, man. That's so crazy, snapping your ankle. Like, fuck. Hate to hear about it. Hope he's okay. Hope he can come back strong, because he's definitely one of my favorite linebackers. But without him, man, you going against Bijan Robinson now, I just think these Falcons are going to find a way to win this game. Now, Penix has got to do more. There wasn't much production in that second half, and if the Buffalo could have figured out anything on offense, they might have had a chance to get back into that. But I do think the Falcons overall are a decent team, and their defense is playing really well right now. They pretty much just blitzed the heck out of Josh Allen, and it did work. The Buccaneers showed that if you put a ton of pressure on Mac Jones, he'll make a couple bad decisions, and that might be all you need. And they have a very good secondary as well. Um, yeah, 49ers just dealing with so many injuries. I don't see them pulling this game off. I'm surprised that they're so high on the percentage, but I think it's also because people don't know who the heck the Falcons are. Are they the team who got shut out by the Panthers, or are they the team that beat the Bills? Who knows? Tough pick, but I'm rolling with the Falcons on this one. I'm also, of course, rolling my Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they face the Detroit Lions. Call us vibes if you want, man, but we have the better record. Baker Mayfield's an absolute stud. I believe he should be at the front of everyone's MVP conversation. He's going to find a way to push through this game. Yes, we are down all our top 4 wide receivers. I don't know if we're going to get Emeka back this soon because of the hamstring injury. Like, that is just a rough injury to have, as we've seen with Mike Evans, who still isn't back from his hamstring injury. He might be back in time. Probably not. We also don't know if Chris Godwin is going to be back, who's still dealing with a sore ankle. Would be sweet. Jalen McMillan definitely will not be back. He's projected back all the way in November. So Baker's just throwing it to whoever, man. We're throwing it to Tez Johnson. We're throwing it to freaking Cameron Jordan. We're throwing it to Ryan Miller. We're throwing it to Kate Otten, and we're gonna find a way to win this game because I just don't think Baker is gonna lose. It does look like Bucky might be out for this week too, but I'm fully confident in Rachaad White and what he could do for us. You know, a great receiving option. Yes, the Detroit Lions are absolutely a great team, and maybe they almost beat the Chiefs that previous Monday night. Who knows? It's all up for the air. You know, I guess they shouldn't have had any penalties against them. Just be like the Chiefs. You know, don't have any penalties against you. It's a good way to win. But either way, I will say that the Lions are absolutely a great team. Jared Goff is having himself another great year. The Amon St. Brown out there doing his thing. We're certainly getting some. Going to have pressure again from Aiden Hutchinson, who had like almost. I think he had 4 sacks against us the last time that these teams played. So that's exciting stuff. Luckily, we do have Tristan Wirth back this time, so that should help. But he could just travel to the other side where we have Mr. Haggard. Is that who it is out there? No. Shoot, I forgot who the other one is. I think it is Haggard. Anyway, still going with Bucks on this one. They got this against Detroit because Baker will find a way. Just believe in Baker; it'll be fine. All right, Seattle Seahawks are hosting the Texans, Houston Texans. That is. The Texans have been showing some resurgence since they're a very slow start, but will they be able to figure out a way to get a tough Seattle team, man? Like I seen power rankings with them in the top 5, top 3, and I'm not fully disagreeing. Sammy has really found himself a good home here with the Seahawks, and Jigba is just absolutely going off. They got 2 decent running backs, which much to my dismay, who drafted myself with Kenneth Walker. Both of these running backs are doing good stuff for them. So if they could keep that going, their defense is nice and young and flying around the field. I think they got all the upside against the Texans team that maybe we're still seeing a little bit of struggles out of CJ Stroud. That defense is good. They absolutely have some phenomenal pass rushers. The best pass rusher duel in the NFL probably between Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. Right? Yeah, checks out. Anyway, I'm definitely going for the Seahawks on this one just because they are in Seattle for it too. So that's a tough crowd to play against. Although the Bucks did pull off the win there too. No big deal. But yeah, I just don't think CJ Stroud has it in him to lead his team to the type of game he's gonna have to play to win this. So yeah, going for Seattle on this one. Anyway, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We did not have guests on for this one because they just didn't have time. You know, it turns out people have lives and things going on. So sometimes they can't make it on the podcast. But I appreciate anyone who tuned in for this one. Find out about what Sports by Compion's doing. We are doing decent overall with our full record. We're still behind Daniel by 1 game. Cedric is closing in on everyone as well. But we are 59-32, and we do pick an 89% overall. So you can sort of trust my picks, at least. And Daniel's even better than me by 1 game. So Sports by Compion, we know how to pick them, but we're out of here for now, people. Thanks for tuning in.